It's time to start this last chance saloon. Strap yourselves in, we're getting into Inferno.
We are indeed, Alex, and what a game it should be here. Complexity on the T side, they've got 2 smokes, 2 HEs. It suggests to me they'll be going down towards that B bomb site, but with coordinated HE grenades could be used anywhere. Boomage with a 5-7, I respect that a lot. Will be boosted up there towards that B bomb site and Electronic. Deadly aim, looking to open things up there. Does fire off a few warning shots to Obo, takes him down to 86, and on the CT side, Chad, 2 smokes available. You don't see that too often on a pistol round, 2 smokes.
Yeah, very curious.
No diffuse care, and Simple with the CZ armor. This is wild.
And a 5-7 armor. 2 armored pistols for the CT start for Navi, and they're lining up for stack nades.
Oh, there's someone there. They're going for the
on the
boost.
boost.
They should get this.
This
kill
is the 5-7. He's got no. Oh, he has got armor as well, but that's got assassination. Flamey loses his life.
They won't clear this now. They won't clear this now because they're going to think that this position has already been cleared on out by those double nades, right?
They're going A.
They've got the kill and they've tucked tail.
Electronics challenge. He will go down, just 3 remaining then, but okay. Simple has a walk and his armored pistol goes awry. CZ lying on the ground now. There will be one more Superman left in the form of Boomage, but this round's all said and done.
I think you might be right, Alex. There's just 5 players just waiting for Boomage to come round here. He has got that 5-7 armor combo. A strange setup from Navi to kick things off, but the in-game leader won't have much of a chance here. Perfecto, he'll have to fall back as well. He's got nothing to save really though, Chad. USP, no armor, no nades. He might as well go down with the ship here. Not really much to do but try and get $300. Are you dropping more things over there, Alex?
I'm just doing some gymnastics, some stretches.
Okay. Just trying to make sure you're all limbered up for this epic best of 3. I respect it. And you'll see Perfecto. Like there's no point saving it, but I guess you deny $300 for them. On the other side, that's the only thing you can really do if you're saving a USP and nothing else.
It's surprising that Boomage is even looking for anything right now. He almost went down with the bomb there. If he had died...
Bloody hell.
Lost the 5-7 and armor. Would have been a whole thing.
The thing is, he would have had to have rebought the armor anyway because of the nades on top of his head at the start of the round there over towards that B bomb site. But like losing the 5-7, that's in place of what you could be, getting an extra nade or 2. So there you go. You'll see him. He'll buy the armor. He'll get himself a smoke and a Molotov in hand. But man, not a great way to start the round if you were... Was it Flamey who went down to the nades?
It was Flamey, yes, and Boomage was above him.
Yeah, you don't love that to kick off the round. You don't even see anything. You get these double dunk nades on your head, but maybe we'll be fighting on back. It does appear that they will contest Banana a little bit. Smokes to the half wall. Sorry, Molotov to the half wall, and now Boomage is trapped.
They've locked him in.
Coffin of Flame.
Oh, and stack nades. They know he sits sandbags. They've done their homework. He's so relentless in those corners. Sandbag this time punished. Stack nades into an SMG swing. Complexity.
Yeah, you are right, Alex. It is fascinating, almost bizarre that Boomage can get away with that position almost every single time. That's one of the first we've actually seen him go down at the sandbags. They won't protect him as much as he would like.
Well, if it was a Molotov, he would have just smoked it. You can see he always typically gets mollied out, so but they double nade.
Well, like I said, Keita definitely does his homework. He is the coach of Complexity. If we've noticed it, trust me, he has. And if the Molotov is not effective, let's get the HEs in there. Just every round, make sure that he's conditioned at that point not to go in that position anymore, knowing he's going to be vulnerable and can't just rely on the smoke. Either way, the execution coming in towards the A side. Now you can see the smokes down towards the arch side, and of course that library. Perfecto with very little chance of finding multiple kills here. A bit of a crossfire of Electronic, but he'll do well to do some damage there. Nice work from Electronic as well. A couple of kills. I don't think it equates to a round victory, but at the same time, you've got to be happy, I guess, with that sort of result. You managed to get a few kills. You managed to make it uncomfortable, but Flamey and Simple, this is a very difficult round now to even consider going for. You've got Deagles. I guess Flamey hasn't got armor, so he could consider going for a few more kills, but Simple might just want to save his upgraded pistol here, which it looks to be the case.
Oof, not quite going to connect, and Obo's happy to collect an extra 600 buckers. That's what I call them.
Buckers?
Yeah, trying to make it sound as Australian as possible.
Okay.
You got any more buckers, mate?
People say dollary dues, but we would never actually say dollary dues.
No, it doesn't even sound remotely Australian. I think, what did I just call them? Buckers?
We'd say bucks. You get a couple bucks.
Yeah, bucks.
I think that's, pretty standard. So throughout the week, well, it was last week now, today's Monday. If you've been joining us for the Pro League broadcast thus far, you'd hear me and Henry talking about a lot of these buys in certain situations, and we'd say they should be saving now. This would not be a very wise force buy. We're probably not going to say that about Navi because they will make some of the worst economic decisions you could possibly imagine and make it work.
They've made it their brand. They've been doing it for years.
Yeah, they're tanking the economy themselves. It's going to be an interesting way to see how they want to approach going into the first gun round. They've upgraded a little bit more, so you can see P250 for Flamey.
What I like about it was French Counter-Strike for the longest time that had that sort of reputation. Navi was stuck to their guns for the last 5 years. They've kept force buying. They never stopped. You've got to just admire it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they are persistent. There's no doubt about it.
So for now, this is the eco. Simple did save that Deagle and armor, but there's a 3-man stack. Complexity doing absolutely everything to avoid confrontation, and you have to. In today's game of CSGO, you cannot rest on your laurels. You can't have fun exploring the map, even against USP's no armor, Alex and Chad. We've seen it in this tournament multiple times already. USP victories off the back of 1 P250.
Oh, yeah.
These world-class players, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile every damn time.
We saw it yesterday. I mean, was it Sticko with the crazy creep turnaround?
That's it.
We rewatched that last night once we got home as well.
We did. We broke it all down, didn't we?
We dissected it. There is absolutely no way in a million years that Ent should have lost that round. Go back and watch it if you missed it, ladies and gentlemen.
We should have recorded that. That was actually quite interesting. Yeah. Either way, so still a 5-on-5. Respect Complexity as well for this, by the way. They're treating this like a gun round. You have to these days. Every dollar is so important. You want to be a world-class team, you have to respect every round in this sort of manner. No one can be running around. You have to make sure that you're just keeping everyone alive. Look how efficient this is. It's stifling the CTs. They'll get 1 kill because Electronic is a very good player, but that was a very nice approach coming in there from Complexity. Training played very well to get a couple of kills. Simple Deagle armor. You know he's going to fancy his chances. No one's going to be challenging this. Flamey from the corner. He ducks himself in. 3-0 Complexity on their T side. But here we go. We're getting into the meat and potatoes, as it were. We've got Simple with the AWP thrown over by Electronic.
Poison as well has picked one up early, so we will be seeing both orbs come out on each respective side. My main observation earlier is going to be what you pointed out with those grenades, Alex. Over towards Banana, if Boomic's position has been well and truly noted and it looks like they're counter-strating him, I need to see Navi move Simple over to that part of the map very early with an AWP. If not, this is going to be a real tough half.
Let's keep our eyes on it. Simple's fanning.
There he comes.
Oh, he was fancying some aggression, heard the pins pulled, will back away. Nade looks good though, and is avoided nicely by Config. Himself and Obo will be adventuring towards Department's control, just ensuring they can gather that part of the map, remove any aggressive CT presence. We will see rather rinse and repeat. Boomic having to respect that Molotov, which both locks you in, should you have gone aggressive, or locks you out.
Yeah.
So the bomb's still down at T steps. This is a bit of a ruse towards A right now. Rush is going to be setting up some utility towards the pit position. Electronic, he does have the smoke. He doesn't want to extinguish just yet. Really nice move from him. Yeah, I guess it did. The fact he had that sort of freedom to stand in the position and get vision. I thought it was a bit of a weird Molotov. I wasn't even sure you could throw it deeply in the pit from the angle Rush was in. It just about made it, but wasn't quite deep enough by any stretch.
They might get another kill with nades here like we saw in the pistol, but it will be just avoided by Boomic this time round. Damage will be done, but nothing to write home about necessarily. And with the number advantage and 45 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, with 40 seconds on the clock, we are going to be seeing them head towards B. Rush challenging though, and despite the loss of Obo and Apps, he continues his adventures towards A. Getting that frag will lock them in. There's 2 members of Navi that will have to respect this. And now Complexity, with 30 seconds left, are pulling Boomic around towards spawn. They are keeping him guessing, and so am I, because they're going back to A.
They really are. 20 seconds remain, and Rush in towards his library position as well, just locking off all those transitional players from the B bomb side. It's going to be Boomic first, is coming through, but frags are starting to happen. The man of the hour, Simple, starting to rail them with the AWP. Boomic from the library as well. Time is low. Config left in a 2 versus 1. Nothing he can do about it. It was looking incredibly good there. Rush's interaction, how did he go down so convincingly? He looked towards the library, he tucked himself in. It looked like he was good to go. That position alone, I thought would win the round, Chad.
Yeah, let me go back and take a look.
I think it was Simple, right?
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, as he's come through the library, Simple is already scoped up on that position. So Simple just gets the better of him on that occasion.
I feel like just holding towards the library, waiting for the B players, that was the play for me. That was when you shut down Boomic. Simple was never going to get more than a few frags of the swarm that was coming in. But still, it's the first on the board for Navi. Not the cleanest of rounds. They're going to have to make some compromises here with the MP9s. Rifles coming out as well. It's a fast approach here towards B. Simple over towards this side of the map. Boomic goes down to the nades once again. He's getting battered and bruised here. as we'll see the advantage now, and the brakes put on by Complexity. They don't have to commit off this. They've got a nice opening kill. They know the money's low on the CT side. It's a 5-on-4, and they're operating here with one rifle in the hands of Rush. MAC-10s and Deagles, they still have 4 smokes, Molotovs, and flashes. They want to go into a set piece now, ideally. But you need a little bit of map control first. You need to remove vision, ideally towards middle and banana before the executions come in. So that first protocol towards banana, that's already been accomplished now. You've got a kill on that side of the map. You've put a rotation away from A, so you're going to get the apartment, smoke towards Arch. This is the mid control we're talking about now. This sets you up for the next piece of the puzzle, Chad.
This map here does play a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle for sure. It's all about getting as many pieces as you can and making sure that they can't steal them back off you.
This is the 2 strongest pieces you can have. You have full B control, middle, a man advantage, and the fact you know there's a chance they won't have utility at this point. You're going to go for the full A execution. I felt like Complexity will smoke in front of the side, isolate the pit, and try and focus their MAC-10s in that area, but time will tell. Maybe they'll just go for a 1 flashbang and attack.
Electronic preemptively smoking himself off. That's an interesting approach.
Are they going to wait for that? I think I respect it. Here comes the flash. I think they're going in.
Oh,
Electronic dodges it.
And he can play on the smoke. Spray's not good enough when Config's hitting shots like that.
Nice work.
Should be a save. Yeah.
That's the way to do it. You've already forced them into a difficult situation there. They've rotated 1 player over towards B. There's 2 at A. Nice, just a basic play there. 3 towards the apartments. Good flash. And it doesn't actually flash him, Chad. He has to turn away, but that means a player like Electronic, he's only good for 1 there. He's not going to be comfortable enough to be a turret getting 2 or 3 kills. He got 1 because he's a world-class player, but they made it so difficult for him.
Yeah, and you can see the problem there. It's just both players were committed towards the side of A, but when you had Perfecto move with that MP9, I believe it was, to find himself a position where maybe he could just deny the plant, it was at that wrong timing. If they had double pit, maybe Electronic may have stayed alive for a little bit longer, played around his teammate because he knows they can't drop off that balcony as easily to harass him. His only issue was his smoke would have been dissipating. Now we're going to jump into Skybox here, guys. Now this is why I'm worried about Boomich. Check out all this utility they're about to use towards the top banana of his position. 1, 2,
Sandbags
3
again.
Grenades landing right here to Boomich's spot. He has to fall on back, and they even push through their own Molotovs to chase them down here. So they really want to condition the top banana at the start of this game.
Yeah.
We have to look into this one and see how this progresses.
Finally, right, Alex, you and I have casted so many Navi games on Inferno. We notice this every time, and I'm baffled because we're saying it. We're giving the walkthrough online while the game is happening. So Boomich is here every time. Why is no one letting him or taking him down, I should say? It's very bizarre, but finally, our team is cottoned on, as it were. We will get into the next round here. 4-1, and weapons saved enable them to fire up into this round. Grenades again for Boomich. He really does need to learn his lesson as he goes down to 65 points of health here. Only with the MP9 is trying to buy time. He has got Flamey with him with the FAMAS. A master of the lesser rifles, it seems. He had amazing performances with the Galil over in Katowice. This time with the CT equivalent. Config does get that B control, but the bomb's still down in T steps. Notice that. This is just assembling those puzzle pieces once again. They want to take vision away from the CT side and cause an element of doubt.
Smoke towards Arch. You talked about Obo having a job. Well, we've just seen one part of his job here in round 6, getting that smoke down. Set the CTs. Channel the CTs into just the one avenue of defense. It will be, for now, towards quad. This higgledy-piggledy CT buy from Navi could struggle from a coordinated hit. 40-second mark. Still, you can see that Boomich, in fact, just deployed a smoke on Banana, so that's enough of an audio cue to at least rest on your laurels a little bit and focus your attention towards A. 30 seconds, and here come the smokes. Here comes the push.
Here it comes indeed, but Simple is ready and waiting. He doesn't miss these ones. Henry, what are you talking about? Sometimes he will. It is going to be an opening pick with that MP9, and Perfecto's in a lot of trouble as well. Complexity are doing a very good job of wrapping this bomb site. They're applying a lot of pressure towards the quad and Arch side there. You can see it's overwhelming. Simple missing that key shot. That is uncharacteristic by his standards. Like I said, a shot like that, you just assume Simple's going to nail it. 3 players there. He actually goes right between the wickets. And unfortunately, it's going to be the MP9 and MAC-10 combo finding him first. Not really much can be done. Obo with a couple of frags upgrading to the AWP. Boomich will get an upgrade of his own, but only back to the M4 as he drops out of the apartments, takes a little bit of full damage there. But it's Complexity 5, Navi 1 on the T side of Inferno here. This is unprecedented. Looking very good for the team. They've done their homework, Chad. You've got to say.
Definitely so. Navi might have to start going aggressive to take the fight to them instead of getting dictated to across the board.
Thing. So I think it's more than fair to say pound for pound, Navi do have this team beat in an individual level.
Sure.
But we're not seeing it right now because they're playing their usual game. They haven't mixed things up, and Complexity are actually anti-stratting them right now.
Yeah, and here's more of that action right now. We're going to look at what happened top banana that round to Boomich. I'm going to just go back a little bit here.
Nades first.
Nades first. There we go. So he gets harassed now at Sandbag, top banana, and CT spawn. They are trying to nuke him out of position here on this map of Inferno.
Oh, God, yeah, I forgot the boost nades. That's all part of the Boomich package.
So he has to start thinking about all of these possibilities now, right?
He could just reel it in as well. He doesn't have to challenge at the start.
Oh, he wants to, though, Henry, and that's why. A quick double. Flamey delivers with a flashbang as well. Early advantage seized by the only M4 on play for the CTs.
Try and try again. Eventually, you will find success. Boomich proves me wrong, and I'm happy to see it. A double kill there towards Banana, and it might get them in the round here. Simple towards this bedroom position. Obo looks like he'll check it, though. It's a very common angle, but Simple's not a common player. He makes a remarkable shot happen, and there we go. A 4-on-2, just what they needed. It has to funnel them up and towards the B bombs. I was about to say they're happy to go challenge this. The smoke might nullify their efforts. Time will tell.
Such a typical Navi round, of course. You know, you go down 5-1, and then with just a save rifle, peanut pistols, you get it back under your remit. Simple, of course, contributing with a sterling shot. That was a Krieg versus a Deagle duel that he won with his $700 pistol.
Well, it's the round they needed. They haven't completed the objective just yet, but it's looking very promising indeed. Simple will fall back to a more defensive line of this deep pit position. Config to find him, but it looks like the crosshair is just so perfect. You can't teach that, ladies and gentlemen. Will he close things out in true style here? 2 kills to his name already. Molotov in his position. That is just brilliant from Simple. That's why he's paid the big bucks, boys.
Yeah, undoubtedly. 5 kills in total, just catches up with the rest of his team. Can we have a Flamey ADR check? He was on 0 not too long ago.
Sorry, guys. I just want to show you this. I keep wanting to show you things. All 3 players here, they have grenades in their hand as Boomich rounds the corner. So no wonder he gets 2 for almost free there, right? They are trying to counter his positions, but he's countered them by just pushing straight on in.
Point.
So that's the change-up that Boomich was needed.
He countered the counter, and there's the ADR I was talking about. Still 0. 8 rounds now of Counter-Strike going down. Flamey yet to inflict a single point of damage. Boomich is taking his liberties in B.
What an adjustment that was. We spotted it, Chad. We saw that they needed to make some changes here, and they have done. Now going for aggressive control instead of sitting at the back in between defensive and aggro play. It's lovely to see, you have to say.
And with that full control, they've actually been able to rotate the 4th man over towards the A site. Rush going to get caught off by an angle. It does look like it's an A hit.
Yeah, they've got the 2 smokes down now, trying to segregate that pit position. I talked about this before. It's a very common approach, but it looks like it's going to be Simple just mowing them down here. He's seen this a few times, and he's happy to let them rot in the pit at this point. They've got a 4 versus 3 advantage. Playmeth, though, fancy footwork to get himself up and towards this graveyard position. Thinks he spots one in there. No one going to be receiving that grenade just yet. Simple. His crosshair is always just so perfect. This time taken down by the Flames of Perfecto. Ready and waiting on the bomb site here. C4 down in the pits, and the first kill, that's going to be his.
This should be the round, just config. Nose poison's low. Boomich, of course, closing that gap from the B side of things, and config can't really leave. He does have the access to the bomb, knows now where one of these 3 are. 2 of these 3, I should say. Boomich, of course, the only unknown entity. Repositions for the jiggle. Wants to punish it. Now we'll find Perfecto. Not too clean. A chance now. 20 seconds. That clock starting to be rotted by the jiggles. Navi's being pushed. He couldn't work it out. It's Boomich coming in from quad. Good timing.
Oh, dear. That could have gone awfully wrong right there if he just swung around.
How much did he see?
Just the corner, and then gets him with the wall bang. So this position here, I loved it from Simple once he saw those smokes land on through, and then gets this one in before the Flames trade him out there. But I think Config did a good job to even find 1 kill in that situation. By doing that, he's taken away the ability for the CTs to have 3 Kriegs in play. As we can see here, they are only able to carry across the 2. We've got Boomich on a silence down 4. That might slow down his banana aggression, however.
Simple and Electronic both have the superpower weapon.
The weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah. Scary prospect.
Absolutely. In the wrong hands, Alex, you never know what could happen. 5 and 4 for now. Money broken for Complexity. Not expecting too much in this round, I'm afraid. No armor. Rush is just looking to jump. He's just had enough of the round, you know. He's like, we're not, boys, let's just focus on the next one. Get a jump in the flames. Get it over with.
It's not the funnest way to go down. Or perhaps if you're a pyromaniac, it is.
Yeah, one of the more satisfying, I suppose. This is very, very quiet.
We were praising Complexity for their thorough T-side approach to the anti-eco.
Well, there's always an argument to be made that baiting out utility, squeezing out every extra cent, every dollar, it is worth it. Just the bigger picture stuff in the games, they bet out another $300 there, 500 with the flashbang coming through. So it's all about just trying to get rid of those grenades. It's very boring to observe and probably sit there, wait, but you might as well, right? You might as well just take that money out of their pockets if possible.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Another 300
one.
That one cost them a bit more as well.
Flamey found some ADR now, boys, that's for sure. The nade does it, so do his bullets, and there we have it. Navi closing the gap, and this all started, this slew of rounds started off the back of that Deagle simple 3K. It was all on a broken buy, and now completely and firmly back into this half.
Yeah, well, let's see what tricks Complexity have up their sleeve. Now the adjustments come in from the side of Navi. I'm sure they were ready for that. I'm sure they were ready for the next stage of this game. They went for a faster A approach. They didn't get what they were looking for. Let's see how they challenge round number 10. We have a bunch of members over towards the T stairs. A simple peers on down. He's going to drop that smoke. It's going to obscure the vision, and he could even, I was going to say push through to alt middle, but he wants to drop a HE that is going to be dodged perfectly. So Complexity, we've seen that trick before. Won't take a lick of damage here, and Simple has expended a lot of his nades very early on to this round and hasn't gotten anything for it. So now he just has to defend with the rifle in hand.
Simple likes to go against the grain though, Chad. He doesn't follow the Counter-Strike rulebook like you and I. He likes to make sure that he plays to his own rule sets. Boomich will go down first, config with that Galil in hand. That's going to be towards B. There's a lot of action with the rifles there on this side of the map. Flamey now isolated, alone, waiting for backup at this point. Simple provider, but he's also got no grenades, as Chad mentioned. Smoke towards library now. Flashbang a quad, send themselves up towards the apartment's position once again. This is the wrap that's been working so well for them. Same smokes, same approach. Perfecto with his back turn. He's got to be ready for this one. He's done for. This is just an absolute counter for Navi. They don't have a real answer. When this setup comes through, they're given the control. Whoa. They're not ready for it in any sort of facet.
I mean, there's a perfect example in Electronic's death. He has to focus on config, the presence in graveyard. They're already swinging into the site. Perfecto just gobbled the flashbang, so he lost his teammate early. Yeah, that was a disastrous feeling for Navi.
Right now, they're just focusing on taking down Boomich. That's their main objective to start the round. He's super aggressive. He's either at the barrels, he's either at the corner, or he's at the sandbags. Once you've taken him out, they're falling back into a default, knowing there's a player peeling back to back up Flamey, going for an A execution, segregating the pit, making those players feel very uncomfortable on the A side. And then they're going around towards Arch, smoke down towards Yard side itself, in towards the library, 3 flashbangs on the bomb site. The most important one, as they swing, he saw Perfecto. All he could really do is sit in the open and hope for the best there, Chad, which wasn't very good at all, was it?
Yeah, we can actually break what you were talking about down, Henry. Let me just position the camera here so we can see the individuals lining up their nades towards middle. What we're going to do is we're going to play it out now. So these are the smokes that we're talking about here, landing towards Arch and Library, and then Perfecto is stuck in no man's land. This smoke here is meant to stop anybody from the pit to be able to stop the wrap, and as you can see here, well, that's fine for them because they can now just focus on site or graveyard as they round this corner, and their flashes are on point too. You could see right
rushes
there, Perfecto had no chance.
apps. You see Rush's flash from apps. He just throws it into graveyard corner, which is enough to make sure anyone that's on site looking towards long
in that kind of that corner box by the default plant spot, they're going to be flashed, right?
Absolutely.
So that's a really good spot, Alex. Yeah, you're right.
So let's see what Flamey's got in store for us, because he's going to go try and take a full advantage of the deep banana smoke. Does get himself down. Now you can see he's using the logs just to elevate his head just a little bit off the default crosshair placement. Config loses a lot of life. 97 just catches an M4 bullet to the dome. And you can see them right back at spawn. Complexity, they've got 2 prongs to this assault right now.
I think they're just feeling out the map at this point. They know Navi like to adjust. We have seen them adapt with the aggression towards Banana. They're just going to see whether that comes through first. Are they going to dump everything they've got towards B and try and get the opening pick that worked out for them before? The answer is no. actually. It's going to be a very default and classic setup, but Boomich with full control of Banana. It's a little bit of a different tale here, actually. He's going to be holding with the Incendiary. We've seen this on many different maps. He's just looking for a pixel angle here. He can just about see the angle towards T-steps, and when he jumps up there, if he sees anyone at all, he'll drop it, call for the rotation, but that Incendiary will buy him 7 seconds just to hold them at bay. He still has the smoke behind it as well. Things get really tricky, but that's why they can keep one player on that side of the map for now. Simple, advantageous position towards quad, opens things up, takes down the young gun.
Boomich, oh, you often told me one of the first Counter-Strike lessons, smoke at 30 is good, but that's only good if they respect it. Here they come straight through, gray screens, and now red. He's seeing red. It's Boomich with a quad kill. 6-5, they test him on B. He's been strangled on B time after time, but this is 4 kills in very quick succession. Beautiful transfer, and there's not much complexity. Had the choice there. I mean, with 20 seconds as that smoke blooms, I assume it's like it's go.
Fight or flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important for Boomich not to be the first individual to die here. That's Jason Lake, the owner.
He's
of
dead on.
Complexity, bang on there. It's very important for Boomich not to die first here. He's currently been involved in 6 opening duels. He's given away the first kill 4 out of those 6 times. And I'm just going back to double check now. It does look like every time he has died first, Complexity have won the round. So...
Okay, a
stay
trend.
alive, Boomich.
And he just won them the round single-handedly. Good evidence to suggest his life is valuable in conversion. Conversion is the word I was looking for. Converging would make very little sense. Rush, however, is going to start his walk. And wow, that's 4 smokes flying through the air. A wall of smokes around pit. This is cool, and I can already feel the skybox coming. Electronic, however, is going to be in graveyard. Perfecto does manage to throw a nade in towards them, and it takes a huge chunk down. Yes, you're smoked, but what can you do about this? Half your health gone from a HE. Electronic still standing his ground in graveyard. It's unlikely they're going to check him, given how well hidden he is.
I like all these variations they've got of this execution towards A. Just keeping them on the toes here. It's looking very promising indeed. Config with a show-stopping shot from the apartments here. We are getting ourselves into another 4 versus 2 on the T side of Inferno now. Boomich towards the library. Not doing any heavy reading, that's for sure. Waiting for an opportunity for the strike, and that's Config. Looking sharp here, boys.
It really is.
That strategy they just ran is a variation of an old strategy, right? VP used to run that a lot. Bialy and Snacks were well known for how they played around those smokes right there. It's good to see Complexity finding some use for it. I haven't seen it get used an awful lot in the top tier of competitive play because it is what we would consider an all-in. The amount of resources necessary just to pull off that round
4
alone,
smokes.
It's a lot, right? So if you have that idea early and you lose a pick, you can't maintain that map control. What Complexity have done to get to this point is do a fantastic job of conditioning Banana, making sure that that has to be a key focus for Navi, whether they want to go aggressive or whether they have to respect those nades. Either way, it's a much harder opportunity for them to get opening picks. You can see just how hesitant Complexity were. They don't even want to hang around T-stairs in case those harassment nades coming down middle or Banana when it does get taken and smoked on off. And these are some of the reasons as to why we're seeing these cool executes. So, good stuff so far from Complexity. This T-half is very, very juicy from a nerdy point of view, Alex.
It has been. It's been full to the brim of clear evidence of preparation against the world #1. Navi picked up their win in Katowice, of course. That is how they climbed the rankings. And since then, their online performances have felt the difference. Boomich, of course, giving us a fantastic stat in the pre-match interview. This is the first online Counter-Strike Navi have played in about a year. I mean, they really avoided it last year. I remember 2019, it was like, when was the last time we saw Navi? We found ourselves saying that a couple of times. They just really deliberately made specific choices.
Considering like how the way the circuit was on LAN and then having to play official matches between all these things, it's a good decision to make there. But the man I want to see staying alive, Boomich, will be pushed on back with the flashes.
Yeah, right back. And he's doing the same sort of play this time, trying to hold them off to the best of his ability. Smoke down early this time. 1 minute mark, flashbang through it though, brutal. Really nice play. So the benefit of that is the smoke going down suggests there's a defensive play coming through, but they can't see the flash at that point. He throw the smoke down, flashbang into it. Yet they just didn't see that coming. Config couldn't do anything at all.
Yeah, he goes from not seeing it coming to not seeing anything, and Boomich just slapping him around as he pushes out.
Really nice reaction, though. I like that a lot. So you can see they've got some tricks up their sleeves here.
Last time they did this, Simple struggled to hit his shot. An uncharacteristic miss was how it was described and excused. And well, now he's got 3 targets. And Rush! My goodness, that's a quick one.
Yeah, it's more like it from him.
Back to A.
That's not a bad call, is it?
They did this before.
Yeah, if he did make this play happen, it's actually a really nice one, because we know that their plays towards the A bomb site have been very effective indeed. That shot actually lands as well as Obo keeps picking them off here. It's Electronic. We know he's always in this pit position. A big spray down on the first and the second there. Bomb to be planted on the site, courtesy of Poison. Obo, he doesn't check the corner here.
Noise.
He's making a lot of noise. He should still get the kill here, but it costs him his life, Chad. He could have got that for free. Now we're down in the 2 versus 1. Poison hasn't been playing too well in EPL so far. He gets the first shot. Now Boomich is waiting for him. It looked like Poison had done enough, but we haven't seen the best out of him in EPL so far.
Oh, we're loving this. We're seeing a lot of this.
Yeah,
I want to see more of it.
Yeah, no doubt. The Obo exchange there, that's going to come down to experience. I'll be watching that one back, immediately going to catch a glimpse of that X-ray and be sure, in certain circumstances, upon repetition, to do it again. Boomer trying to get under their skin. Any advantage you can take is an advantage.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a bit of frustration coming out of the Navi camp, having to play against this very slow and methodical style. They're making all the right decisions. When you lose the opening pick here, what they realized, if they could get top middle, the AWPer would have to probably be in a passive position, right? So the next gap is if we can go through mid to B, that's going to force everybody to be walking around on eggshells, because that's a massive gap. Where are they going? Is it the B split?
Right.
Has Simple been duped? As soon as Rush got that kill, it was on, right? The round was completely open for Complexity to win there.
Yeah.
So Navi, especially with Electronic, did a very good job to survive.
Electronic spray down was pretty god tier, to be honest with you. The fact he got the first, it's allowed Gatling M4A4 from the pit. You'd think he'd be taken out, but nice transfer up to the hay bales. Manages to get both, and here we have it, 7-6. Navi clawing the way back in, can still win the half at this point. Money is strong. Not the same story for Complexity. They'll be broken if they give this round up. Config taken down by virtue of the flashbang in the previous round in this same position. Looks a lot more tentative now. Making sure he pre-fires every single position, and at this stage he has got B control. Same smoke down though.
You talk about conditioning, and I mean, this is a perfect example of how it would work, right? Because Config, he sees that smoke a second time, and I'm probably not going to get right up next to it the second time. No, I'm going to play an anti-flash in a corner.
Smokes are not force filled. It's a very important message we have to get out there for people.
And yet, even the world's best fall into that trap sometimes. It's one of the ways of Counter-Strike. You do start to really consider that smoky grey screen a whole lot more bulletproof than it is.
So 35 seconds has to be the B finish here. The smokes are going in towards the coffins. CT spawn, Molotov's coming in. You see how technical Complexity are. They've done their homework here, but the Molotov, it's actually off completely. They haven't done a good enough job here, Chad. This is going to be a difficult one. They assume the new box is going to be clear at this stage. Do they even check it? They've just Molotoved it. They got their backs turned to it. They thought it was clear. They've missed one simple grenade, and it's cost them 3 frags. Boomich will find his 20th there from the new boxes. Gets himself in a 4 versus 2, and now just Rush. He's completely blind. He's going down any second. He's lucky to be alive at this point, but one missed Molotov. It's not just because they didn't take him out. It's because they assumed it was clear, because that job had to be covered. Chad, can we break that one down? Can we look who threw that? Can we find out who the criminal was?
Yeah, I can take a look at that for you. One of the key problems that I did note there that could have really been the unraveling, guys, would have been the situation for the CT side of rotation, which was very, very far away. So they're setting up the nades now. Let's just wait and see who's going to throw this Molotov.
It's Config. It's Config.
Oh, was it Config?
No, Config was Coffin.
No.
So Poison.
I'll have to go
Poison.
back and take another look.
I was looking at Poison. I'm almost certain it was him. So it goes in front of he's done it to the right, I think, instead of to the left. So the little knobs that are up there.
The knobs.
For lack of a better word. And it's gone to in front of the new box instead of behind. Not what you were looking for. And it's just, I feel like if that comes through, Boomich probably gets 2 kills still, sure, but he doesn't get the 3rd.
It was Poison on second review.
Yeah.
It got a little bit confusing there because Blame and Poison were standing right next to each other, but it definitely was to Poison.
You can't get more than one, though, surely, as they enter the site. Electronic, you know where he's going to be, but that doesn't stop him. The Molotovs don't, and no one can seem to stop this man. Already double kill. Config's going to be finished by Perfecto. We have ourselves an 8-7 half. Complexity, hard work pays off as they do manage to keep Navi close on the first map of this hot match.
Chasing the night, chasing the night. Hotel rooms and city squares, champagne bottles, drum and snare. The sights and cities seem to fall away when you stay. Locked in love for a night or two, losing sleep just to get off you. Day to day you wanna stay out, you're chasing the night, holding on for life, feeling the high, chasing the night, chasing the night, chasing the night, chasing the night, holding on for life, feeling the high, chasing the night, holding on for life, feeling the high, chasing the night, chasing the night.
Welcome back to ESL Pro League. You join us between Navi and Complexity. There's Rush on the screen right now, and we are neck and neck. Heads are on the chopping block as we go into the second half here, and we're going to see who we're coming out on top. Currently, Navi leading 8-7, boys. An epic first half, and hopefully we see more of that from Complexity. I really like their T side, but up against a hard-hitting Navi right now.
And it's definitely getting a little bit hot in there, Henry. That would be the only reason to be seeing Rush opening that door right now, because I assume they're going to get you getting a little bit loud with the way that this game's going to play on out.
Someone, somewhere, an ESL admin is having a heart attack because he just saw Rush on his phone and he's like, I'm furious. Yeah, I've got a box somewhere. I want to be putting that in. But he can't be doing that today. A change of plans. And perhaps Complexity's changing Navi's plans with such a strong T side.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got himself like a little bubble chamber there. I like that.
I think him and Obo are in Denmark right now. Blame's obviously in his home.
Sure.
You'd have the same for Config, I would assume,
Yeah.
and then Poison, well, he's off. He's off somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
He ain't with them by any means. But
So, proper online game, this one.
yeah.
Everyone's joining the team speed, getting stuck in, and they're going to have to dig their heels in at this point if they're going to make the comeback. It was looking so good for them. Respect to the theory and hard work and graft they put in terms of the anti-strat there. Navi were caught with their pants down a few times, but the raw firepower kept them in it. We saw the stars shining brightly. Boom instead, his preparation coming into this tournament was the same as Katowice. Finally, we're starting to see that shine through. He's 20-7 right now as you go into the second half.
Oh, he is. Just don't sleep on Boomage. Keep your eyes on this. Soon, perhaps, we'll see Flamey, Electronic, Boomage, and Simple all online at the same time. Bomb loose as they charge down middle, and another headshot. Rush behind them. Obo's pushing in. They'll check their corners. I assume Electronic given a chance, and only one.
Yeah, you don't get a chance of that very often. 3 players not checking your position. He doesn't get anything for it, but Simple might!
Oh, God.
The forest fire. Was that the way he finishes things off there? That's insane. Perfecto, brought into this team for his clutch potential, is now left in a 2 versus 1, but he's making a lot of noise. Blame F should take him down momentarily, which he will. Great round for Complexity. And Chad, why are teams pushing down middle so often these days? What's the theory behind it at this stage?
Look, I think the CTs are starting to take matters into their own hands because the Ts are getting so good at isolating individual kills or stringing a team out and making it difficult for them to have a say in the round. Whereas now the CTs, if you take the fight to your opponent, you've taken away all the guesswork. You know exactly what your plan is. You win or lose the round with that shove all in. And if you lose, well, it's Counter-Strike in 2020. You're going to force buy next round anyway.
I like the idea of sabotaging whatever set piece or tactic they had in mind. You just throw a spanner in the works and you just make them think on their feet. You make it a mid-round pretty much straight away at that stage. Even if it goes for a 1-for-1 trade and you fall back, it's not the same approach they had in mind. Either way, it's not a force buy from Navi here. It is going to be the full eco. It's simple, of course. They'll have the Desert Eagle. He got 2 more kills than his teammates. Remember, he got $600, so it doesn't cost him much more. He still has the same cash as his teammates there. As we get into round 17, and the first kill is delivered in a stylish fashion with that MP9 straight to the face of Boomich.
5 MP9s, no less as well. So do keep track of complexity. Should they get a clean, spotless anti-eco here, we're going to be seeing 5 MP9s against Krieg's next round.
There's a few maps where this is viable. I think Inferno is probably one of them, considering how tight the choke points can be. Banana, once you get that locked down, top middle when you're keeping it smoked, and then for the late round, you can do sight crossfires, play on that balcony position. Very difficult to deal with. However, with the bonus round that you're suggesting, what they'll need to do is have some form of a plan, right? You want to take a territory as a team, maybe use your superior utility, then what you're going to have over Navi going into the following to isolate a kill, see if you can upgrade a weapon. I wouldn't see any need for these complexity players to be upgrading if they all survive, which is looking good as the flash will come over. Config will find all 3.
Perfect flash.
And now we're going to move into round number 3, where Navi are going to have the big guns in place. So let's see what move complexity go for right now. I would assume 3 players towards top of Banana just to lock it down. Carpet Banana with that utility. Here's that replay for you one more time. Or they could go for something, you know, where they're not so hyper-aggressive at the start. They bait the rifles in closer and then do more of like a pop flash and peek on it.
I would like to see, I was about to say, 3 towards B, go for some banana control. Like, even if it's equal trades at this point, they're just trying to make this round as expensive as possible. We can still buy up to the next one, and they are going to be pushing with the grenades. At least lots of damage inflicted. They haven't received any themselves. So a nice start here. Unconfirmed damage towards Electronic, but he's down to 8 HP. One of the hardest hitting players on Navi, nullified earlier on in this round. So what can he do at this point? A little bit of blockage action here toward the T-step. Simple fires off speculative shots towards a barrel position. Remember, 5 MP9s here. It's a very passive game. They went for some initial control towards B, did the damage they wanted to do, and they've fallen back here. Holding on to the smokes, the incendiaries. They haven't dropped a single one yet. They don't want to until they absolutely have to. In a default gun round, you probably see a smoke towards top or middle in the first 20, 30 seconds, just to stop the rush. They're taking that risk for now, knowing that they need to hold on to this and whittle down the clock.
It's really problematic for Navi in this round. Sure, they have the more powerful weaponry on the table, but they have no utility to work with here.
Yep.
This is bare bones. They've had to scrape the bottom of the barrel here, and they are hoping they hit shots. That's what this comes down to. But unfortunately for them, the MP9s will play more unorthodox positions. It won't be standard rifle spots.
They're going to tuck themselves in. And we're at 40 seconds now. 1 smoke remaining for Rush. Over the incendiary as well. This will be massive, so he wants to get that down. They'll go past that. He's a little bit late on it. Boomich can still get through. His teammates cannot, however, so it has bought time nonetheless. And in terms of remaining utility here, Obo with nothing makes a footstep towards the barrel, jumps up. Now only good for 1 kill. You can see that first bit of conviction from Perfecto. He does a little bit of damage towards Simple as well. About what he was worth, to be honest with you. If Rush can find more, they might be onto something.
Yeah, and there is a chance. That's going to be an upgrade as well. Flamey's gone down in apps, and now time rotting. 8 seconds. Bong needs to go down on Simple. He will ensure that happens, and he can hear the communication, rather the steps. He'll communicate that to his team. 2 members dipped into pit. And they're coordinating with what little they have. Just a couple of flashbangs, upgrading their weapons. It's looking positive for the bonus round here from Complexity. And as soon as that molly fades, that's their cue, that's their go. 1 flash, Simple will eliminate the push from Bao. Get a second chance onto Poison, will finally go down. They know there's another one towards Electronic's position. They're so low, but Blame doesn't know. You said unconfirmed damage, and now this one is confirmed. Navi make 9.
They're both going to blow up here, Henry, so
that's a good
very
point.
expensive
So
round.
it was what we'd say a bonus round, right? You know you're probably not going to win it. 5 MP9s. They've taken all 5 players down. They've saved the AK-47. We know Complexity have a full rifle buy going forward, especially now Blame F can drop a single M4 here. And now look at the money for Navi. By winning the round by virtue of Explosion, it's $3,500 per player. That's pretty much all they're going to have across the board going into round number 19 here. So we'll see Galil's, Mac 10s, and Kriegs. There is one saving grace to this, however. Complexity don't have the best money. Sure, they have enough for the rifles, but look, 4 4 helmets missing. That means that Khalil's and Mac-10's a lot more powerful at this stage. Huge round in the context of this map and potentially the series.
Let's find out then what Boomich has got in store for us. Just charging up straight into Poison's crosshairs, and that's enough to get the first blood. A tag, in fact, it seems, straight towards Electronic. Simple may have caught a little as well. Not bad for one bullet straight through that half wall. You can still see it remains in the lower right corner of his crosshair.
Well, they started last round with Electronic taking, what was it? 92 points of, no, 92 points of damage within the first, what, 15 seconds? This time around, they've lost an opening pick, and it is Boomich once more. It is the, I guess, curse of his play style. He likes to be aggressive. When he takes advantage of it, it looks fantastic. When he goes down early without any trade potential, it looks a little bit silly, but Navi have to regroup here, and once again, low utility.
Smoke's over. Mac-10's going to be deadly against the players without helmets. The Crossfire looking good, though. Blame F. He does have a helmet. He saved the AK, remember. He'll be falling back. 4 versus 2, Electronic and Simple now. An iconic duo in CSGO right now. 35 seconds. Very possible they could win this.
Starts the misstep from the CTs, and it doesn't seem like Blame's going to be too interested, but Simple is lying in wait with that position. He will be able to challenge out.
Oh. 15 seconds.
17.
Here we go.
Obo, look how passive he is. He still hasn't swung to check it. They do have an incendiary for him. What's his response? What is his response? He swings in. It's a perfect choice. And he leaps through out of the flames, maintains his life, and upgrades to a Krieg.
So you saw the small difference there. Instead of just swinging straight away, the incendiary lands, he sits in it for just, what, 1.5 seconds, just to make sure that they're not really looking at that. And the moment he comes through, smoke goes down as well. Their time's at 8 seconds. As long as he gets 1 kill there, round's done. He knows it as well. Very well played. He bought himself that extra second by sitting in the flames, taking damage. They weren't expecting it. And it's a double kill and double digits for Complexity as we get into round number 20 here. Full eco for Navi. Should be a clean run here for the international squad.
Should being the operative word, but yes, I mean, a couple of P250s, 3 to be precise. It's not promising. They do have absolutely no nades, so not even one off the chimney to try and get that bomb down. This is just going to be a brawl, hoping for a misstep. You can see Obo unwilling to bend the knee.
Yeah, this is troubling times for Navi right now. We will see them get into a proper gun round in the following, assuming a miracle round doesn't actually happen here. But to be playing your first 2 gun rounds of the game very compromised in terms of what you're bringing in utility-wise against a team who has already shown they're extremely proficient. They've already identified a lot of your tendencies. They've punished you for those tendencies within that first half. The same thing can be on the T side as Obo wants to get a little bit more aggressive this time round. Pushes on up quad with the Krieg, and we'll get 4 quick ones.
Yeah, not bad at all, that. He's looking very sharp now towards that quad position. 11 to 9 with the money falling back in favor for Navi. Down, but certainly not out. Inferno is Complexity's worst map as a roster, holding only 36% of wins. 4 wins and 7 losses. And we'll hopefully see them start to pick things up. They're looking very good on their CT side. It's always nice to see the underdog come through and actually cause a bit of an upset to start a series.
And what more of a statement is it that this is Complexity's pick? We said that there was evidence of anti-stratting on their T side. Well, if they're picking a map that is statistically their worst, there is so much more of a nodding dog towards the anti-strat theorem.
You know what's insane?
Go on.
Is that even though they have that as the stat line, when they were playing a Blast, I believe it was, against Vitality. This is when Alex was still on the roster. They absolutely dumpstered them 16 to 5.
They had a great run in London, didn't they?
Yeah, it was insane. So,
well, they certainly put the hard work in. Let me tell you, I can't stress enough when I was talking about Keto as a coach. He does absolutely everything for them. Anything they ask for, it's done within a matter of minutes, and they get what they need. He is the encyclopedia.
I love that. I love the idea that when Blame was saying he does everything, it's not like it's a cop-out. It's not like he's just saying, oh, he does everything. It's more of a, he does everything, anything.
Like I mentioned, he used to find our smokes for us way back in the day. I know how efficient he is, and he's great at that sort of thing. So, amazing coach to have. And you can see they are very well prepared and currently have an 11-9 lead, but it might not last too long as Flamey, he'll open things up, and that's Poison. The AWP removed here, and Boomich, he's behind enemy lines, deep behind them, in fact, in Library. He was there on the CT forces. It's going to be Obo first on the chopping block here. If he's not careful, gets himself in towards a graveyard, which is quite fitting given the current circumstances.
He does well to find the first. He's conscious of long. Survival would be ideal. Quite the opposite, thanks to Simple and his AK-47. The Kalashnikov of Electronic doing something similar. We will see the bomb go down and likely to save. You can see Blame already positioning himself to do so. So this will be the 10th for Navi.
So that's 2 rounds now that Navi have been able to use that arch-sided smoke. It's not the one that's landing in arch, but it's obscuring vision from the mini pit as well as library, which does open up that avenue towards CT spawn. If you are the side of Complexity right now, maybe you can change and you can play 3 towards quad, maybe get that porch boost and fight for full mid control. Don't allow Navi to go for that level of exploitation again, because they've used it to success, and well, once they've used it once, maybe they'll use it more and more.
I think you might be right. Time will tell if we can hold on to these initial rifles for Complexity. It looks like it's going to be secure, considering they're all making their way towards T-spawn at this stage. It could be Config and Blame F. They have got an AK between them and the M4A4, but we got double digits now for Navi. As Alex mentioned, this is the pick of Complexity. Money is good still. They can purchase the AWP, but this is the opening kill from Flamey. Preemptive shot, saw Poison coming around the corner by the Shadow appearing. And Simple just doing simple things here. Electronic will join him, vaulting up and towards the hay bales. Lovely work there. And here comes the Poison Orb.
If we can just note that Poison frag that you were talking about there, how that plays into how that smoke worked. Once Obo lost vision, they realized that they needed somebody to see if brackets was clear, and Poison pushing for information was just that next logical step. Unfortunately, there's no trade potential in that kind of scenario.
Yes, indeed. Another big round here. Money reasonable on both sides, but not ideal at all.
You asked for a deviation of their A setup. Well, you get it, Chad. They have got one boosted up on towards the arch side. Excuse me, quad side. And the smoke towards arch would be much less effective this time around.
The good thing with this is as well, if they hear nothing for a very long period of time, they can flash pick middle, have one individual have a look. If they're there, it might bait them into coming A. If they're not, well, they can start that early rotation over towards B. So being in front of those smokes acts as not only information, but a very deadly crossfire.
And more than information, more than he bargained for. Perfecto. 1 bullet from Config.
Yeah, Perfecto hasn't done a whole lot so far. 6 and 15. Here's the martyr of round number 22 as they make their way towards B. It's going to be an execution here with Flamey watching for flanks as they've got a full set up towards B. Very defensive, good smoke coming down, buys a lot of time. Simple trying to use that slight gap to see if anyone steps out of line, but Blame F is keeping his troops regimented. And for now, 30 seconds on the clock, and they still are ready and waiting outside B. Blame F with no utility. Poison, same story, but he's got that AWP. Let's see if he can make it sing.
That's one. For another, running out of time. Navi are going to have to go ahead and commit through the flames, and great shot from Flame. He's been quiet, but that's some loud stuff from Blame. 3 in a matter of seconds. 1 clip from the M4 and 12 now on the board.
Yeah,
Oof.
That wasn't bad, was it? Making his way through. I love it when those plays deliver. When you come through the smoke, it's always a bit of a challenge. It's a gamble, but your teammates flash you in. We'll see it from his team point of view. You can see it. It's Config has thrown the flashbang in from CT spawn. It's caught 2 of them. Big 3-man spray down there. We said it was a big round. You can see that evident on towards the screen now. We've got Mac 10s, a couple of Kriegs, and 1 Deagle here. It's enough for Navi, more than enough to win a round, but you can see certainly struggling in this one. They try and break through the initial B defense. The player towards sandbags. Electronic seems to know about it. Can't find him just yet. The last bullet of the Krieg will take him down. A double kill now. Has to go for that reload. They've got the man advantage, and do they continue here? Knowing there's a 3rd player on the site, rotations will be coming through. They could go back towards A and pretty much guarantee there'll just be 1 player at this point, considering the backup required towards the B side of the map.
Looks like Poison's kind of sussed it out. He has thrown some of his initial utility and then disappeared back towards A.
Yeah, this AWP is going to be key here, Alex, because if they, well, they don't even have enough nades to do a full execute with. They have enough to do a late B, just get that coffin smoke and CT smoke. But if they were to go A and Poison finds the opportunity to pick that gap over towards quad as they're trying to enter onto the site, he can pivot on out and find another as they transition to pit. That could be very dangerous. But if they stick to their guns and what it looks like right here, just go late B with these 2 smokes that we can see. A couple of simple flashes, nothing too crazy. You don't even need to trade out. Just kill the guy on the site. That's all we need to do, and the round should be done and dusted for Navi here. And as they start to posture, lining everything up, the hit will come in momentarily.
Done and Infernoed.
See what he did there.
30 seconds, one man to test. Flame, they are going to check you, and he's not going to let that happen. He brings the fight to them. Doesn't work out. A triple from Electronic in this round.
Yeah, that should be enough, I would say. Alex Bong to be planted here. Another successful pushing towards B. Navi in the individual duels, we said it pound for pound, they are going to be stronger in that particular discipline of CSGO. It's the theory, the complexity have really shone brightly so far, but when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, Counter-Strike is all about hitting the headshots at the end of the day. You can have the world's best strats, but when you've got the world's best players, it might not be enough to topple them.
Yeah, and we have got ourselves a damn close game. Two very different styles. If I watched anime, I'm sure I'd have a crazy good reference right now.
Maybe Chad can have something for us
Two different fighting styles meeting in the arena. Obviously, this is like, you know, Chad, that guy and the other guy, and then
but I could do Hunter x Hunter for you if you wanted. I could talk about Gone and Kill You.
He wants either a UFC reference or an anime.
UFC reference?
Yeah, UFC.
A UFC
two very different fighting styles.
All right, yeah, all right. Brock Lesnar and Anderson Silva.
That's what we've got right here. Brock Lesnar in the corner.
I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad Chad did. Fit himself out there.
Brock Lesnar, we can say, is
former WWE
Navi.
star, right? That's his thing.
He moved. Yeah, he did go to wrestling.
He's the guy that looks like Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He went to wrestling. Yeah, but he's a big man. He's a scary
big old dude.
Man.
Yeah, he looks like his skull's bigger than my thigh.
I would say that's probably accurate. Anderson Silva, one of the greats, bit of a technician.
So complexity is Silva, and Brock Lesnar's Navi.
Yeah, they're a bit more of a blunt force.
Yeah.
They're just going to knock you out, if anything, right?
Certainly.
But anime references, look, I've only watched a couple.
I was thinking of like a Dragon Ball Z. I feel like, you know, they've got all these like famous fights and like, oh, Goku and that guy with the green and the tadpole.
That's Piccolo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could do a lot of, I watched Dragon Ball Z a lot as a kid. That's another Miss Molly. We're seeing so many of these within the Pro League. I don't think ping makes you miss nades, guys.
I don't think so either. Maybe resting on their laurels a little bit too much in the free time here, Chad. We'll see whether they can recover though. Flashbangs now towards Banana. Splitting this one right down the middle. 12 to 11, one round separating them. CT side, not as impressive so far for complexity, but keeping their head above water. Navi closing the gap slowly but surely. Towards B we go. Simple confirms there's no close range presence here from the CTs. Drops a Molotov to deny vision. They'll go back into an A execution within this window probably, just to confirm they can't actually see what's going on towards B. That Molotov should hold them at bay for a good 10 seconds or so. Yeah,
very quick and effective smoke thrown out from middle. That's from the back, top of T middle. All the way towards library side. You can see it there on the right-hand side of your screen. It's just going to block off any sort of long-distance CT hold of Long. And speaking of Long, Rush, he may not be on this world for long. And now swinging in is Oboe. Good damage. Bombs on the balcony. 15 seconds. Navi, they've had the wind taken from their sails, and they're giving them all the fights they could possibly desire. I can't believe it.
That shouldn't be happening, and that goes to show you what I'm talking about before. It's this individual prowess now of Navi that's looking just unbelievable.
15 seconds. Henry.
We've had it from Boomage and now from Simple as well. That was unreal. I don't know how he gets away with that second kill of his. We need to see it from his POV. It looked sick. Like, that shouldn't be happening. No one should be able to play CSGO like that, but he's making it work and happen every single time.
Yeah, I mean, this guy dropped 40 something in regulation, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it?
Yeah, close to 50 in regulation.
In regulation, he dropped 50 in the overtime. That was about 3 days ago now. Of course, Group B alternating. So about 2 days ago would be a safe bet.
They had no business winning that round. And of course, Simple getting it done for the balcony. A couple of quick kills, complexity to open things up towards the A side of the map. Wasn't quite enough. It never normally is, and we'll have a look from Simple's POV now. First kill, pretty standard by his standards. We'll see the second, unreal. Oboe, ready and waiting for it as well. Spray transfer with the Krieg. Lovely work, and we're going to find ourselves a 12-12 scoreline, but still some safe weapons as Config and Poison bringing the rifle and sniper once again.
Oh dear.
I'm interested to watch more from Simple's Krieg. It does seem like he's been taking it into the lab and has been refining some of that scoped spray. It's looking fierce. He's certainly looking rather confident with it, the weapon itself.
This is one of the rounds, Alex, where... okay, never mind. My point is completely null and void with Boomage's aggression right there. The ult's been taken out of Poison's hands.
Blame's done well to keep things level, Chad.
Yeah, the fact that they get away with that, I thought Boomage was going to go on a bit of a rampage there, but I was about to say... this round with the AWP in play is one of the ones where you want your AWP player to go quite aggressive at the start to find you an opening. Unfortunately, with all his teammates around him, I think maybe he was lured into a false sense of security, and now the A bomb site's been split on open.
The cavalry just arrived, and immediately Perfecto's there to start his glue factory. That was a big find. Soon as the AWP arrives in library, he can just tap away. Didn't even need the scope for that frag. That will be 13 for Navi. I say that with conviction as Obo turns tail towards CT.
So this was the eco, and they're leaving with what they started at least. The rifle and the AWP, and they've upgraded from the M4 to the AK-47. So not all is lost. They were never really going to win that round in terms of the percentage chances, but the fact they're leaving with more than they started with, that's promising, at least considering they're buying forward.
Navi should, as that bomb get planted, start throwing out that net to chase, right? Their economy isn't great, but it's in a much better position than that of Complexities right now.
I guess, unfortunately, knowing Poison was the player that went down with the AWP before, they got to know it's towards B, and he'll be, what, new boxes behind the fountain or somewhere like that towards Ruins. It's, I guess, very difficult prospect to take him down. They're going for that, at least being inquisitive.
They're investigating.
They're having a little look. Maybe a run boost. Like, so that's the problem.
He got past, though, so if Obo tries to cross towards the site and doesn't just stay at Coffins, maybe the CT player might be able to get the kill, but he is going to think better of it. They're going to definitely back down the hatches over on the B bomb site, and now Navi have taken the lead.
Whew, what a game this is turning out to be. Perfecto, love this shot. No scope necessary onto Blame F, just a quick tap. He did actually scope.
That's all right.
It was from the hip in my mind.
Just scoped.
Yeah.
Flamey still down in the doldrums, but his team take the lead, 13-12. Money starting to stabilize on the CT side here. Haven't seen a massive amount of rounds in their CT campaign. We'll see if they can start to sink their teeth in now. Poison has had a good season, but in EPL hasn't really shown us his best form. Boomich at the very top, dancing around the flames here, checking out all the angles, and if anyone should know them, it's him.
Half-wall smoke and Molotov combo.
Oh, they respected it, but it was just a feign of it. They actually weren't pushing on that maneuver. They were merely sitting on back and hoping that the utility itself would do the job. They are, as I mentioned, making sure they don't get caught on out here. There won't be a late push. We can actually see, if taking a look at the minimap in the top left, both players have situated themselves in the back line to the site. But now that Navi has full Bernardo control with a minute left on the clock, it should just be quite a simple B execute. You get the mollies and nades in it, and what they do very well is their individual ability to trade off of each other once they identify where these CTs are.
They throw one smoke, which pulls the CT smoke. It's a smart and effective way of pulling out that utility. And oh, Poison caught with an aid in his hand, and now a bullet in his brain. This is glorious from Navi. Just like that, they strike.
That's what you want to see. That's how you take the B bomb side. They didn't see it coming. That's a pounce maneuver if ever I've seen one. Out of nowhere, a couple of smokes. The flashes are overwhelming. Everyone breaks through at the correct time, and only 2 players survive once again for Complexity. It's a complete shutdown of Banana. And we will have the bomb planted at this point. Will they be challenging for kills once again? Obo and Rush holding on to this time the FAMAS and the AK-47. This lead is falling apart. It's going to go 14-12 at this stage, and Simple can smell blood in the water. Flamey looking to add frags to his total. Hasn't had the best game so far. You can definitely see why he wants to get stuck in. Knows they're going to be towards his A side of the map. One towards Pit, one in the apartments here. These are big kills. In the context of this map and the final result, if these 2 weapons make it to the next round, that's huge. If they don't, they could be in a lot of trouble here. Simple will find the first. Rush isolated now towards the bottom of this Pit position. If he makes it, it'll be an absolute miracle. He'll have to just flush himself out here. There's no way he's going to be making it into the next round. They're coming for you, Rush. Do what you can. Fight with everything you've got. Can he take the AK-47 into the next round? He's pulled it off there. That could be the difference maker now. An AK surrounded by a partial buy might be enough to hold the wolf at the door. Navi are certainly growling outside.
Yeah, and you can't blame them for calling the US Air Force tactical timeout. My goodness. Get that extra 30 seconds. Get your coach involved if you have to. But just take the breather. After the round before, I mean, this is a reminder of just how spicy the burst into the B site was that did put the 14th on the board for Navi.
That was so well done from Rush there. I can't wait to see what the next round holds. It's only their first first tactical timeout, but they are going to decide how they place their units. They've got enough loss bonus here for Deagles, MP9s, that saved AK. They have got talent in this squad as well. Be interesting to see who they operate with the AK-47. They're going to have to go for an early pick, and it could be enough to keep them in this game. Lose this round, they're in a lot of trouble. They've gone for absolutely everything here. The AK's on the ground for Rush, 2 M4s, for Mass, the MP9. It all comes down to round number 27.
This is where Complexity have zero margin for error. They've put absolutely all of their chips across the table. And look at Rush charging in on such a crucial juncture of the game. Expecting backs turned, and he finds them. Will find Simple, and it's traded by Electronic. It could have been 2.
Chad, do you reckon he gets 2 if it's a clean first shot? He would be ready to reset. He'd have had
he
half
wouldn't
a
be
second
so
more.
flustered. Look, he definitely had a better shot at doing more damage.
Yeah.
Even if it was just half the HP falling off.
If anything now, he's given them the advantage.
Yeah.
A 4-on-4 on Inferno is the worst defender for this ruling. If you do go down to a 4 versus 4, you're spread thin on the CT side. They can absolutely wreck you with a 4-man execution. You're spread thin. It's a huge advantage out for Navi. Config's low as well. So the push from Rush, it was a great idea. He just didn't quite stick the landing when he pulled the trigger.
Yeah. Brutal way to lose it as well. Just still taps into Simple on the logs. Expected it to be a conversion kill.
See, Navi are doing exactly what Complexity did. Once they have these situations, they just milk the clock. They force the CTs to go for these aggressive maneuvers, and if they don't, well, now they know they have to be separated in what is usually most likely a 2-2 formation, and that's what's happened here.
Yeah, and this is what makes it so powerful. It's a 4-on-2 situation wherever they go. We know the weaponry isn't there for the CT side right now. They're hunkering down. They're holding towards the apartments in the pit. Poison does not have his AWP, but he does have an incendiary. A smoke grenade's available.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. If he can get it down, there might be a chance here. They're pulling this one back. Good grenade as well. Poison's doing enough. Strong HE. Has to go towards the corner now. This is the final test. Navi will get the bomb planted. He can't deny it, but he is staying alive in the 3-on-3, just holding that real estate.
Trying to smoke himself out, not necessarily to help Navi, as you would have... Oh, actually, it does extinguish their Molotov as well. An aggressive line from Perfecto gets caught. Poison doing everything to just delay, but are they ready for that spot? It's Electronic tucked in on the corners. 2v2 now. Blame has to close the gap and finds the necessary frag. Boomich to clutch. He only has 23 points of health, excuse me. And being pushed in by 2. Has to be precise with the first. He won't get it. And Complexity with just enough time for the defuse.
Would have liked him just to hide at that point. I feel like that could have been a chance. They overlooked that one position because it was so unique in terms of the post-plant position he chosen there. Had he maybe just held up, got 1 kill that wasn't defusing there, could have been enough. Went for the swing instead. You've got to give it a go, and doesn't work out for him. Complexity, remember, off that saved AK, managing to open things up here. That was from Rush. Gave him the confidence to kick things off in this manner, and they do stick the landing. It's Poison, dropping the smoke, and the tenacity that wins him the round there. The fact he stays alive so long buys him enough time to get players there, and they went out in the clutch. A very important one, but money is still weak here. Luckily, they have got a couple of Kriegs available to them. Master Robo and Electronic pushes past the Flames.
If they can deny Navi from getting the plant in this round, as Electronic flirting with the edge of that smoke, and somehow he gets the better of Config there. How?
I don't know. He is doing some unspeakable things on the server right now. That Krieg of his, it's dialed all the way up to 11. It's insane.
I'm not even certain. Like, Config should have had all the advantages in the world in that situation. I know it's a left eye peek, right? Because he was at the top and he was only showing the left eye first. But coming out of the fringe of that smoke, Electronic is also having to be left eye peeking, right?
Sure.
So it must have been a pre-fire.
You're flabbergasted.
That right there is almost the game-winning entry if they're able to convert this round.
If they're able.
They're going for that mid-control. There is a big question mark still. This round is still very much in the balance. 40 seconds remaining. Poison hasn't had to operate with the orb too much on the CT side. Haven't really had the resources to, but that's not bad. He sticks for the second, though. I don't think I agree with that. That quick kill was a bit of a heist. I feel like knife out, get back, hold the defensive lines. You've kind of equaled things out at that point. The fact he gives himself up and they lose the situation they found themselves in is disappointing. 20 seconds, final finish towards A here. Molotov will actually hurt Rush a lot, down to 1 HP, but he survives somehow. If he gets 1 kill out of this, it's enough.
15 seconds. It will be enough if he gets one and he's in the perfect position to do it. Already Blame onto one. He's pre-firing. He's trying to keep them at bay. Flamey can't get this player off and they're going to fall back. Just like that, Rush surviving could very well have been the outcome to pull home 14th.
Oh, why did he move out of the pit for? Why did... Oh, okay, that's
okay.
fine. The fact he pulled him back, we'll take it. But he had every opportunity to survive there. He did retreat. Unfortunately, didn't work out for
Here we
his
go.
electronic.
Oh.
Have a look. I'm looking at the left.
Yeah,
Watching
me too.
configs. Oh, you can't see anything.
So he definitely catches him. So it's just like, you can see from config, he sees a lot less than electronic.
That's
did
so
there.
strange, isn't it?
We're on Go TV, so it's not like for like what the players
That's
are seeing.
true. The smoke's a little bit
Just to
different.
note that, but it does give you an indicator that electronic had the advantage at least.
Okay, wow. I did not expect that to be coming on through. That's a nice new one there to potentially be learning about because they
Yeah.
have been throwing that smoke to extinguish the Molotov time and time again. Maybe the smoke's intentionally as well, if it doesn't actually extinguish the Molotov, uses a bit of a one-way.
twofer.
Yeah, that's a... Or maybe I'm an idiot. Let's hope it's the former.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
If it was the latter, we might be in a bit of trouble here. But now Navi are in a little bit of trouble, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. They're going to bring out the simple orb on the T side for the first time here. Flamey and Perfecto haven't shown up to this one, but Boomich, Electronic, and Simple certainly have. It's a three-man army right now, looking to get to map point on their opponent's pick. Smoke down toward the deep of Banana. We are going to see a bit of a rebuttal from Electronic, just throwing grenades up, showing presence, but not actually committing towards a barrel position here. Just gets himself in towards the logs. He knows there's a chance of a late airstrike towards that position, so decides to go out.
Can't blame him.
Both teams are screwed at the end. Like whoever loses this round going into the last, strap for cash. They got
So
nothing.
you could say the winner of this round likely wins the first map.
we could say that.
Let's see. So Navi, they've been running time right down to the point of a 15, 19 second mark. It's been getting a bit crazy towards the A side. I'm intrigued to see if they give themselves just a little bit more of a cushion to deal and to flush out players. For example, like Rush, who did manage to just about keep his health bar full.
I did want to keep my eye on that arch-sided smoke, and they've just lined it up. They've actually just dropped it, so this looks like it's going to be a fake on it this time round. You see that arch-sided smoke has just dipped. We highlighted this much earlier in this half, and as we can see by the map, well, the bomb is actually headed back towards the B site.
Yeah, and yet they look to pincer in. Great shots from Blame. Double kill. Rush onto Flamey as well. That's the entire A side of this B hit. I promise it makes sense. And now Poison's holding on towards B. He's going to get caught out. Spot Simple, and already the frag from Config should confirm it. Simple's burning away, and Poison doesn't even have to peek.
You might be right. He'll be falling back here. Simple has to hold on to the AWP. 10 seconds remaining. It's going to be complexity posting.
They should chase.
Map point first. They should chase. And they're going to, Chad. 3 players actually encroaching his
spotted.
position. He's gone down. That's massive. It's going to be complexity now. Removing that AWP. Lost bonus. Not really there. It's going to be a third stage for Navi. That's $2,400 per player. And they do have a little bit of residual cash on Electronic and Simple. They've got enough for 1 AK-47 or Krieg, Galil's, SMGs, Deagles, that sort of thing. You get the picture as Navi take their first tactical timeout now in round number 30.
Comes down to this, my goodness. 1 minute 55. We thrust onto the clock and we will wait to see how Navi intends to make Deagles and 3.5K enough to secure overtime. This was Complexity's map pick. If you have joined us, missed the pre-show, we had both Blame F from Complexity and Boomich from Navi, in-game leaders in their respective teams, talking a little bit about this game, and we learned an awful lot. And we're going to be seeing if Complexity, all of that hard work, is going to culminate in their map victory.
Ooh, Simple's actually...
They've set... Now, I remember a year ago, this was quite the opposite of what Navi would be doing, but instead, it looks like they've invested their rifles into their 2-star players.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
It does.
It does all come together when you think about it. So we'll see whether they can actually close this out and take us to overtime. You've laid down some nice context, Alex, but the grenade does have some gravitas attached to it. Takes Electronic down to 43. Blame F off angle now to challenge with this Krieg. Happy to do so.
Don't do it, Electronic.
And he's got low HP as well, Chad. You do have to question that one. I guess he was hoping to find an AWP on the other side, but essentially just offers himself up for free.
He has to be the bottle opener for the team. He's been the one finding a lot of entry frags throughout. But look, I understand why he's gone for it, thinking that no one else is going to do it. This is my job. I need to find the frag. But going down that early, the AK needs to be retrievable.
It was underwhelming, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he wasn't expecting that double nade to chunk him on down at the start, unfortunately, but it does look like this will just be an all-in towards the B-bomb site.
Yep.
See if Simple can get some kills. That's the strat.
This is the Molotov towards Emo. It's back right, and Blamef is there. It won't take him down. So that certainly will. Simple's been removed, and the Molotov has actually made things uncomfortable. Hasn't landed perfectly here. It looks like Complexity have done enough. Couple more players to find his config. Throws out the flashbang. It's just a formality at this point. Surely they won't be able to get themselves back into it. He just needs to buy time. Flash is coming through. USP drawn. Headshots delivered, and it will be 16 of 14 for Complexity. They pick up Inferno. It's their map pick against the #1 team in the world right now. Navi will topple in the first map.